Hey, this is Douglas Moore from DSoundman here at Kraft Music to take a look at the Waldorf Protein synthesizer. This small little package packs a punch. The Protein is an 8-voice polyphonic wavetable synthesizer where you can distribute those 8 voices over 4 different layers. The Protein also has some features brought in from the Iridium line, like the arpeggiator, step sequencer, some of the effects, and you'll see some controls like Flavour that you'll see on the Iridium Mark II are all built into this portable little package. Now what's great about this is it can be powered via USB-C, which makes it great to throw in a bag and have the power of the microwave synthesizer here in the palm of your hands. I currently have the Protein plugged into a Studio Logic SL73. I'm going out of the MIDI DIN port on the SL73 into the 1/8" MIDI, comes with the adapter, in on the Protein. Both of these are being powered by USB-C, but what you're hearing is only the Protein synthesizer. We're coming out of the 1/4" stereo outputs, but there's also an 1/8" headphone jack. So let's dig into Protein. I'm going to play a couple of sounds as I go here so you can get an idea of the sound depth that you can get from this portable little package. Now I mentioned the arpeggiator. So you have all of the typical arpeggiation modes here. If I go into my shift menu and the arpeggiator, we have our tempo, we have the up, down, all of the variations of arpeggiation that you would expect to be in the synthesizer. This is coming from the Quantum and Iridium arpeggiators, full arpeggiator built in here, which gives us a lot of sonic capabilities. On top of that, we also have of course, because of the 8-voice polyphonic nature of this, we can layer together different sounds using our multi-mode and the layers. So you'll see here I have 2 layers for this particular sound. But if we go into our presets, I'm just going to cancel out of the arpeggiation settings there. We can scroll through the many presets that are included, 150 included from the factory, and the Protein's capable of storing up to 250 presets. So lots of room for your own custom sounds. So as we scroll through here, I'm going to select a couple and just play them so you can hear some of the sounds that come included with this. Because of the polyphonic nature, I'm able to play chords. And then all of my adjustments, my knobs, are very tactical right in front of me. So I can go in and start to adjust any one of the 3 envelopes that we have here. You know, what you just heard was a feature. Now we just heard was a feature on the Protein called Dirty, and that adds some distortion and grit to our sound. So we're working in that static. I can make all of these adjustments on the fly as I'm playing these sounds because of all of the knobs that live right here on the control surface. If we come back to our presets and we scroll through a few more here, we have a lot of different categories, and we can even filter on this screen. Everything's laid out very nicely. Even though the screen might be small, everything has a purpose and is easy to navigate here. So I can scroll through my different categories, I can set those and then scroll through the different presets within those. So another feature we have on the Protein is this Flavour knob. And what this is doing is taking a standard wavetable synth sound and it's adding a little bit of variation in there. So as I play this lead sound, with the Flavour at 0, it's very consistent every time I play the note. As I start to bring the Flavour in, I start to get a little bit of variation in that waveform. So this can give you just a little bit of extra flavor to your sounds, just giving those some variation on those waveforms. As I mentioned earlier, with our 4 layers, we can take and load presets into these layers really easily. So right now I'm on a single layer sound here. This is deep breath. So let's say I want to take this and turn it into a multi. I can just tap on my multi button and you'll already see layer A is taken up by this sound that I just called up. In multi mode, I can choose layered or round robin, random round robin, or MIDI split. So you'll see this in the Iridium synths as well, but round robin, every time I play the note, it'll alternate between the presets I have in those layers. So let's say I have 4 presets loaded up in A, B, C, and D. Round robin, every time I play the note, it'll move between the layers. It won't play them all at the same time. It'll move between those. Random will move random every time I play, and then our typical layered is going to layer those together. So let's start with layered. I'm just going to select that, and then when we come and we tap on our B layer, we can turn this on. So we're activating that layer, it turns orange. And then as I move over to my actions, I can load in a preset that already exists. So I can scroll through here. Let me load up this. I'm going to load this into layer B. And I need to turn layer B on. So I've taken 2 sounds and layered them together. But let's change, so if we tap on multi again, and we change this to round robin, listen to what's happening. It's taking A, B, A, B. Do random. So it randomly is switching which layer is playing. This can add some really nice characteristics as we're playing those synth sounds to give some variety to the sound that we're outputting. We can do this with all 4 of our layers as well. Remember, we've got 8 notes of voicing here, so we can spread that across those layers however we'd like. We also have some effects on the Protein that we can add to the tail end of our sound. So check this out. If I scroll my type knob, I can choose between different effects, compression, equalizer, reverb. Let's go with some reverb. As I bring my amount knob, this is that dry wet. Sonic sounds, this is amazing. So we can choose those effects and put those on our sounds within our layers. So we're going to go ahead and build a sound from scratch using the arpeggiator, as well as bringing in some of the wavetable and envelopes that we have here on our control panel. So I'm just going to tap on Shift and then my Edit button, which is going to initialize and bring me back to this very basic wavetable synth sound. So what I can do here is on my oscillator 1, you'll see that's highlighted here. I can choose the wavetable that I want for this sound. And then I can choose the volume of that oscillator in my mix. Let's go with our saw sweep. Now on our oscillator 2, I can move over to that here. I can change this to a different type of wavetable. Maybe we go with bellish in this case. Now down here, if I take Shift off and go into my Edit menu, you'll see all my different parameters that I can change here. So on each of these, if I press into them, I can go into that setting and then continue to work through my settings for each of these pages of the menu. Come back to here, go into my filter. Now a lot of these are right here on the panel. My filter, my resonance. And then my filter amount. Now I also have my envelopes down here. Now again, this is working on a oscillator by oscillator basis. So if I come into my oscillator 1, now I have that attack, decay, release. And as we're building this sound, we're getting that traditional microwave synth, those frequencies and the kind of characteristics that that synthesizer has have been replicated beautifully within the Protein. So let's throw the arpeggiator into the mix here. So what I can do is tap Shift, and then on my play button, we can turn the arpeggiator on and off from here. So you'll see I'm on an up with a 3 octave. So it's going 3 octaves up and then repeating. So if I press down on my encoder and scroll through the different settings, I can change this to an up or a down, or both. So now it's going up and down. Let's press down, go over to our octaves, and let's change that to 1 octave. And then we can come in and do our swing and gate settings here as well. We can also change our time signature. Right now it's set to 16th. So however you want this arpeggiator to run, we can do that. Let's bring our tempo down to 112 here. And then if we take Shift off, come back into our edit menu, we can move into any one of these settings here like I was mentioning. So we could come in. On the Protein, we also have 2 LFOs. So you'll notice as soon as I turn the speed knob within modulation, I can switch between those 2 LFOs there, and all of my parameter adjustments very easily right from the panel. Now on the left, we have our pitch settings. So if we wanted to take these oscillators and start to pitch them differently, let's do like -12. And then I can start to detune those. So I can scroll through. Again, I can filter by category. Right now we're in the lead category. If I just press down on load, I can increase the glide. Some amazing lead sounds in here. If we go into our filters, and I'm going to filter for some of the atmospheric sounds here. Again, there's a lot of pre-built presets that come with this to get you started, whether that's you're new to synthesizers and want something as a starting point, or you want to jump in and start to adjust what we have here. So that's the Protein. You have the powerful sound of the microwave with the 8 voices of polyphony you can spread across those 4 layers, and some of the features from the Iridium like the arpeggiator, the effects. This is a powerful synthesizer in a portable package. Once again, Douglas from DSoundman here at Kraft Music. Thanks for watching.